Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do every weekday. That is what you see behind me as we get into this. And thanks for everybody for joining us. So don't forget, you can download the Fox 12 Oregon app. Great way to watch this show, both live and after the fact, for all the different things that we do cover on here. Right now, we're talking about something coming up on Sunday, and that is the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Classic and vintage motorcycle riders from all over the place are going to be joining here in Portland and other places across the country. We're going to find out why that is, find out a little bit more about this event and really what it's supporting. Joining us right now, we have Austin Foster, the Portland ride host for the event here coming up. And Austin, thanks for joining us here. Really, really appreciate your time. And, you know, I think to start off, just to give everybody that basic knowledge, can you tell us what is the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride?
Yeah, Greg, thanks for having us here. My name's Austin. I am the Portland ride host for the last 8 years for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. And DGR, as we call it, started in 2012 by a gentleman named Mark out of Sydney, Australia. And we raise money for prostate cancer, mental health awareness, and suicide prevention, specifically for people who identify as male. So that is our cause. We get dressed up in suits and ties, which is why I'm wearing my jacket here today. And we ride around town to get eyeballs on those causes on our vintage motorcycles. So it's an event that we do globally, one day a year, all over the world. We started in 2012, so we've got a bit of time under our belts now, and it's a cause that's really near and dear to my heart.
And it really seems like it's near and dear to a lot of people, too. If this started in Australia and is globally, you know, 2012 seems like a while ago, but it's really not that long to have something take over like this and really resonate with so many people. What is it, do you think, about this ride in particular that really resonates, I guess, with so many different people?
I think just the causes are something that a lot of people have somebody close to their life that has dealt with prostate cancer or prostate cancer scares, and then obviously like men's mental health and suicide prevention. I think the stats are that it's about every minute there is a man who commits suicide or somebody who is diagnosed with prostate cancer. And we are in 1,000 different cities and 120 different countries across the world. So I think that those causes really, no matter where you live, what language you're speaking, like you probably know somebody who's dealt with those things. And as far as like how I got involved, my dad, who taught me how to ride motorcycles and who I grew up riding on the back of his Triumph Bonneville, he got diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2017 and had his prostate removed in 2018, actually up at the OHSU Knight Cancer Prostate Research Center. And so he is now in the Survivors Club. I'm happy to say that. And he rides with me every year. But it's definitely a cause that I think people all over the globe are really trying to bring awareness to prostate cancer in particular. It's just a blood draw. Once a month, get your PSA levels checked.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Not once a month, once a year.
Right, once a year. Once a year. But yeah, still, I mean, well, also just really quick, I want to say I'm so happy for you and your dad. And you know, that's fantastic. And to have that. And you're right, that is, though, something that's very universally relatable, no matter where you are, who you are. And when it comes to this ride, you mentioned you've been riding motorcycles since you were a kid, it sounds like. So for the ride in particular, let's talk about some of that so people can understand what it is you'll be doing, because it's classic and vintage motorcycles. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, so DGR is all about being a gentle folk, whatever that means to you. So we dress up in suits and ties, and I think it originally was about changing the stereotype that a lot of people have about people who ride motorcycles being, you know, hooligans or just like, you know, unlawful citizens or something like that. So Mark really wanted to make sure that we're changing that perspective. But yeah, so we are focused on vintage and classic motorcycles. In the Portland ride in particular, all motorcycles, all humans are welcome. If you're not riding a vintage or classic bike or a Triumph, we usually just have you like a little bit further back on the ride, but we still like everybody to come out because it's such a great cause. And we want everyone to feel included, because there's a lot of people, men in particular, older men who, they have these awesome bikes and they sit in their garage all the time. And this is the one event that they get to bring them to all year. And they get to form that community with other awesome, gentlemen who have an old vintage bike. So we're really excited. We'll be there this Sunday. The ride is going to be starting and ending at Triumph Columbia River. Triumph has been the global sponsor with the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride since 2016. So they are, this is a decade now with Triumph.
Wow. And when you're talking about this ride, where all do you go for it?
So we have to have people register just for safety to sign a waiver and everything. But if you're interested in signing up, you can go to gentlemansride.com and you'll be able to search your country and then your state. And then Oregon has 3 rides. So if you're not in or around Portland, we also have a ride in Eugene and Bend you can sign up for. But once you sign up for the Portland ride, you can get all the ride details on there. And it'll let you know the route and where we're going. It is a parade ride, so we definitely, because a lot of people are wearing suits and ties and not safety gear, we don't go over 40 miles an hour. And we also keep it to around like a 30-mile total route. So it should be pretty fun. We're fingers crossed that no rain on Sunday.
Yes, I don't know what we can do about that part, but yeah, fingers crossed, definitely. So for about a 30-mile ride, where do you go?
So usually the main point is to kind of do a parade ride and get eyes on the cause so that people maybe Google like motorcycle ride with people in suits. So we usually go in and around the city. We'll be starting kind of in the Gresham area at Triumph Columbia River and then making our way down like Marine Drive. So it'll be pretty along the river and then coming into St. John's. Actually, we usually do the St. John's Bridge every year just because it's a really powerful thing to be with 400 other motorcyclists. And, that's a moment when I'm always leading going across that bridge in particular, where I just like kind of pause and take it all in. And my dad's usually right next to me. And so it's a really wonderful bridge to go over and just like look behind and see 400 people, following me.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, how does it feel for you? Being that, leading this and having all these people together and having that community, as you mentioned, some people maybe this is the one time a year where they get to get out and see some other people, that have these same interests, and just to be there for so many people like that and raising money for this. I
will be honest, it's the most important thing that I do in my life. It's the best day of my year every year. It's a lot of work. We're all volunteers, all of those, 1,000+ cities around the globe. We are all volunteers, so it is unpaid work, but there's nothing else I'd rather be doing on my nights after working 10-hour days than going home and doing DGR emails all day. But, it just means so much to me because my dad had prostate cancer, and that I will never forget that conversation where he told me and my mom that he did. And so knowing that this can be so preventable and kind of trying to like break down the stigma of like, hey, like I work at a motorcycle dealership. Like I end up talking to guys now about their PSA and their prostates. Like I have these conversations a lot because I'm just trying to change the stigma around like, hey, if you're over 45, please go get a blood draw. If you have any concerns or things like that, like there is life after a prostate. Let me tell you that. Like my dad is a firsthand account to that. He still rides a motorcycle, lives a great life, plays the trumpet. He is thriving, and it's all because he was able to find it early and get it out. And so I think that, we're really lucky that we have Movember as the global sponsor for DGR. And so all of the funds that are raised go to that program. And then they disperse those funds into different programs around the world that are working on prostate cancer research, as well as like suicide prevention programs. And in particular, in America, there are some funds that are donated to veteran motorcycle groups because, we know that veterans in particular can struggle a lot with suicidal ideations. And so money is also spent, dollars are also being right here in America used, which is really nice to know. And some of the funds that were raised from like years prior went up to the OHSU's Knight Cancer Prostate Research Center. So it's kind of full circle. And I think that's why it means so much to me. And, myself, I've struggled with mental health as well as many men in my life. So just Yeah, it means a lot to me, and I'm really glad that we've got a pretty good group of riders here in the Portland Ride. Every year now, we usually have about 400 people. Last year, we raised $30,000, so we're right there. We're at 22,000 right now, but if everybody gave, who's registered currently, like $25, we'd be at our $30,000 mark. So that's what we're shooting for.
All right. Well, I think best of luck to get there because I feel like that's going to happen. I've got a couple of friends who are actually riding in it on Sunday too. And, Austin, thank you, for joining us here to talk about this too and just doing what you're doing and getting the word out like that. And, have a great ride on Sunday.
Thank you. Can I thank some of our sponsors before I go?
Go for it.
I definitely want to thank Triumph Columbia River, Liz and her whole team there. She's donating her space, and they are just they're just a huge help for us, and they donate every year. And then I also want to thank MITRE Motorcycle Lawyers. If you get in an accident, which I hope you don't, they're the people to call, and they donate every year. They're amazing. So they're two of our main sponsors. And then also Motocorsa, where I work, the Ducati dealership in Northwest Portland, donated all of the beer for the event. So I also wanted to shout them out. They've been a huge help as well.
All right. Well, Austin, thank you very much for joining us, and really appreciate having this conversation with you.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
And for everybody watching, this is Fox 12 Now. We're going to take a break. We will be back here throughout the afternoon. Lots more to talk about. I've got a representative from Gigi's Playhouse joining us, and then later on we're going to talk to the owner of the Portland Bangers. Yes, that is a soccer team that is here in town. So lots of coverage here, wide variety of things. Don't forget to download the Fox 12 Oregon app and follow along with everything that we do, but I will talk to you soon, shortly actually. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox